Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line. Breaking news over the last couple of days. It's been a hairy last couple of days. Trump arrives in Georgia to surrender in Fulton County. We have had an amazing last couple of days in this story. Donald Trump has handed himself into the Georgian police. He has been photographed, fingerprinted, and his mugshot has been merchandised to no end. He has also returned back to Twitter with a tweet. This is his first tweet in several years since the January 9th, 2021. Mugshot, August 24th, 2023. Election interference, never surrender, DonaldJTrump.com. This is amazing. Donald Trump is back on Twitter. Hopefully he tweets again or X's again. I don't know what to call it anymore. But it's amazing. Look, 243.3 million views, apparently. We'll see how that goes. But it's insane. It's the Biden government has decided that they're throwing everything out the window and we're just going to arrest and accuse our running mate, our person who's running against us, and we're just going to throw everything we have at them. And they don't care what they look like. They don't care with people calling him out for being fascist, being a totalitarian, being communistic in some standards. Just arrest your political rivals, why don't you? Because, you know, if that was happening in Iran or somewhere like that, I'm pretty sure it'd be flying drones over them, dropping bombs and JDAMs on people. But, you know, it's America, so the Biden government gets away with it. Trump arrives in Georgia to surrender in Fulton County. Fulton County DA has accused the Republican and his associates of being a criminal enterprise intent on subverting the election results in 2020 election. Former President Donald Trump arrived in Georgia around 7 p.m. to surrender himself to law enforcement at Fulton County Jail. Trump, who was booked shortly after his arrival, had been accused of illegally trying to subvert Georgia's 2020 election results. Trump and the other defendants in the case were ordered to surrender by noon, August 25th. And see him there. Supporters and critics of Trump gathered outside the jail in preparation for Trump's arrival. Some anti-Trump demonstrators who wore rat costumes while others dressed like prisoners. According to a journalist, political commentator Laura Loomer, Fulton County Sheriff's Office placed barricades at the site of the planned pro-Trump rally, seeming to prevent supporters from gathering at the jail. Fulton County Sheriff's Office are violating the First Amendment right of Trump supporters and the media who showed up the Fulton County Jail today ahead of the President Trump's arrest. She wrote on a post on X, "The barricades were not used yesterday. This is an effort by Fani Willis to suppress free speech and to stop the rally from taking place outside the Fulton County Jail. The actions seen in this video are yet another attack on our civil liberties in the U.S. Constitution," Loomis said. Trump and 18 other defendants were indicted in Fulton County on August 14th, an investigation that lasted 2.5 years. 2 weeks earlier, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis said the work is accomplished, alluding to an impending legal action. Willis' office contends Trump's and his associates comprise of criminal enterprise who work to keep the Republican in office after the 2020 election. So basically, if you go and say that you think there may have been some fraud in an election, then you are guilty of a criminal acts apparently now. So does that mean they're going to be arresting Hillary Clinton? Does that mean they're going to be arresting AOC? Does that mean they're going to be arresting any of them? Joe Biden even for saying that the election was rigged and or faulty in some way. The charges against the 2024 Republican presidential frontrunner include allegations he violated the Georgia Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization Act, RICO, as conspired to impersonate a public officer, conspired to commit forgery in the first degree, and conspired to commit false statements and writings. A document listing the charges was briefly uploaded to Fulton County's website before being removed. Trump had been indicted on 3 other occasions in 2023. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan announced on August 24th that he will lead an inquiry into Willis to determine if she coordinated with federal officials. They need to actually do something. The Republicans are just sitting there on their hands doing absolutely nothing while Donald Trump is paraded through these prisons and paraded through these indictments and paraded in front of media saying that he's guilty of all these accounts. All these counts when there is absolutely bullshit evidence to go along with it. Your indictment and prosecution implicates substantial federal interest, and the circumstances surrounding your actions raise serious concerns about whether they are politically motivated, wrote Jordan in a letter to Willis. Turning to the first question of motivation is noteworthy. Just 4 days after this indictment, you launched a new campaign fundraising website that highlighted your investigation into President Trump. Additionally, the forewoman on the special grand jury you convened to investigate President Trump earlier this year, you bragged during an unusual media tour about her excitement at the prospect of subpoenaing President Trump and getting to swear him in. It's a witch hunt. It's a massive witch hunt. Apparently, that's one of the charges, because Trump said that there was a witch hunt against him, so that's why they're charging him. What can you do when the entire leftist media and leftist political arm and the nut jobs on Twitter and things like that are attacking you? Not much. When the Republicans won't do anything about it, when Trump is just at the beck and call of all these DAs doing exactly what they want him to do, there's not much you can really do. What Trump should have done is went to his home in Florida, and then just sat there and said, okay, I'll hand myself in, but you guys have to come and get me. That would have caused a massive shit show for Ron DeSantis, whether he'd let federal people go in there and take Trump out of his state. And it would have made it look, I don't know, it couldn't have been any worse for him. But honestly, like, someone's got to stop and put their foot down and say enough is enough, and we're not playing by your rules anymore, or we're not doing everything you ask us to do immediately without any sort of repercussions. Willis has scheduled Trump's trial to begin on October 23rd, following Keith Chesebro's request for a speedy trial. Chesebro, Ray Stallings, a myth, and Michael Romans were indicted and allegedly assisting with fake electors. Several of Trump's co-defendants surrendered to authorities, and their mugshots were heavily circulated online. David Schaefer, the former chairman of Georgia's Republican Party, said that his mugshot, his profile photo on ex-attorney Jenna Willis, followed suit. They are not doing anything to stop any of this. Donald Trump is being indicted. He's being arrested. He's being dragged around all these court systems and through the media, and no one is throwing up any sort of fight, and no one's fighting back. It's just they're just letting it happen. You see his mugshot there. Another amazing thing that happened the other day, former President Donald Trump returns to Twitter. Never surrender, he wrote. Within hours of former President Donald Trump being booked in Fulton County, Georgia, his fourth indictment stored GOP frontrunner posted on social media site X, formerly known as Twitter, for the first time January 8th, 2021, which was 2 days after the riot at the US Capitol. His first poll in over 2 years featured a photo of the mugshot taken minutes earlier at Fulton County Jail. As part of his prosecution, supporters widely perceived the political prosecution over his attempts to uncover details about the suspected fraud in the 2020 election. The photo was beset with the words, mugshot, August 24th, 2023, election interference, never surrender, DonaldJTrump.com. Given the former president now has his own social media site, Truth Social, his re-emergence on a rival platform that banned him more than 2.5 years ago could be a sign that Trump is ready to take the gloves off and launch a more searing attack against his opponents as he wades through the legal morass of multiple indictments while campaigning to win another term, leading the nation from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The link connects to a Trump campaign page with a personal message from the former president. Today is a notoriously violent jail in Fulton County, Georgia. I was arrested despite having committed no crime. The American people know what's going on, that what has taken place is a travesty of justice and election interference. The left wants to intimidate you out of voting for a political outsider who put the American people first. But today I walked into the lion's den with one simple message on behalf of our entire movement. I will never surrender our mission to save America. If you are doing poorly due to the sinister people in control of our country right now, don't even think about donating. But if you can, please make a contribution to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House and save America during the dark chapter in our nation's history. Reaction to the post was swift, racking out more than 340,000 likes, 149,000 reposts, and 82,000 comments within the first hour alone, mostly from the former president's most ardent supporters who refused to abandon him despite the numerous attempts to put him behind bars. Trump was arraigned following a 2-year investigation by the Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, whose investigation was sparked by a phone call Trump and his team had with Georgia officials in an attempt to shed light on allegations that illegal votes were counted during the 2020 election. The arraignment came less than 24 hours after Trump's primary challengers traded barbs with the Republican Party's first primary election debate, even an event Trump chose not to attend, given his significant lead over all his rivals. Most polls show Trump with at least 30-point advantage over second-place challenger, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. I don't know if Ron DeSantis is still second in place. I think it might be Vivek Ramaswamy. What do you guys think anyway? Is this deserved? Do you think Trump is going to be found guilty? What do you think they're going to do? If they actually keep him in the courts over the next 12 months whilst he's running for president, he is going to have a real hard time getting out there and doing events and doing speaks and getting the votes and getting people rolled up to vote for him. He's going to have a hell of a time trying to do that when he's going to be in and out of the court system constantly. This is obviously politically motivated from the Joe Biden government. Whether there is grounds for them to charge him with these things or not, I think this is obviously politically motivated. I don't think there's grounds to charge him with pretty much anything, especially in the Georgia one. I think asking the question if, where are the votes, what kind of votes have you got, fucking make sure you go and check that they're correct, do everything legally, I'm pretty sure. I don't see how that's illegal, but I know American law is very different, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Donald Trump will become the next president? Do you think he will be put in prison? Would you still vote for him if he was in prison? Because I believe you can. I believe they can. Vivek Ramaswamy deemed real winner of the GOP debate, beating Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. Donald Trump did not even turn up to the Republican debate the other night, and he still kicked ass in it. I mean, how can you not even be there and still win? I don't know. But Ramaswamy, I believe, came second in the debate. He really did do a very good job. How do you even compare to Trump winning a debate when he's not even there? I don't know. But Ramaswamy seems to be a very good candidate for VP. And honestly, like if Trump wasn't running or if he had a better chance at winning, Vivek would make a great president, and he probably will someday. Vivek Ramaswamy deemed real winner of the GOP debate, beating Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. According to a new poll, Vivek Ramaswamy was deemed the real winner on Wednesday's GOP debate, beating out former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The poll conducted by JL Partners asked 504 Republicans about their views of the debate and the Daily Mail. The pollsters asked debate viewers who the real winner was, included Trump, who skipped it and instead sat down for an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Of those surveyed, 22% Ramaswamy was the real winner, 21% said Trump won, and 20% said DeSantis. The rest of the candidates all polled in single digits. I don't even know half the other candidates. I mean, I know their names, but I wouldn't have a clue of what they stand for or what they're polling for. 7 career politicians took a swing at Vivek and they couldn't knock him down. He said his senior advisor, Chris Grant, according to the outlet. DeSantis campaigner James Altima, who said he seemed happy with the results after telling the Daily Mail that his candidate had stayed above squabbling with other candidates. Honestly, he did pretty good for how boring and bland DeSantis is and how out of touch he seems to be. He did a really good job in that debate. He had a few hiccups where it made him look really impersonable, but as it goes, as far as he's been like up until this point, he did a lot better. And he gave a few jabs at Vivek, but he wasn't attacking him as bad as like Chris Christie and that shrill, terrible woman, whatever the hell her name, Nikki Haley. God, she's a terrible bloody person. They should have just cut her mic out. Like, no one's going to hire her if you're that, like, in any position, let alone being president, if you're that shrill. While other candidates attacked each other, Governor DeSantis stayed focused on the American people and fighting for their future with a clear vision to fix our economy, secure the border, empower parents, back law enforcement, and stand up with the leftist elites in the DC establishment, Ultima said. When asked who had the best debate performance, 28% Ramaswamy, 27% said DeSantis. Former Vice President Mike Pence came in third with 13%, followed by Tim Scott with 8%, Nikki Haley with 7%, Chris Christie with 4%, Doug Burgum with 3%, Asa Hutchinson with 2%, 9% said that they don't know. First and foremost, Vivek Ramaswamy, who was inserting himself to the national stage, narrowly won the debate with the Republican voters. James Johnson of JL Partners told the Daily Mail second. Ron DeSantis, who nearly topped the poll, has very much kept his campaign alive and defied write-offs about his debate performance. Johnson continued third. Mike Pence, whose voters put a third place, who's now asserting himself as leading anti-Trump candidate in the race. Poll margin error has a 4.4%. If you go back and watch any of the debate, that Vivek schooled them on just about every single topic that they brought up. Anytime they attacked him, it was basically 4 or 5 people against him each time, and he defeated them every time. Vivek is a fantastic person to be running. He would complement Trump or even DeSantis greatly. DeSantis and Vivek ticket would be cool. Vivek and Donald Trump ticket would be great. Wherever he goes and whatever he does, I believe it will help the American people, including helping the rest of the world, which would be us. Vivek seems to be a very intelligent person. He obviously knows his base. He knows how to get the word out properly by doing podcasts and interviews, not like people like even Trump seems to be constantly going back to the mainstream media and following the old octogenarian boomer logic on shit, even like having attacking electric cars the other day, saying that you can only drive 100 kilometers in them. It's very boomery. And Vivek seems to be, he's obviously the youngest, but Vivek seems to be the only one that knows what people actually think and what people actually believe in this day and age. A lot of the other candidates are just promoting boomer speech. But hopefully it's a Vivek Trump ticket. I think if Trump actually had some brains about him and picked him as his VP, he would win in a landslide. Depends what the Democrats have planned, obviously, with all these indictments. But Vivek is a fantastic choice. He seems like a really intelligent, nice dude. He might have some skeletons in his closet, but as any politician goes, who fucking doesn't? I mean, it's whenever you're picking a politician, it's the lesser of two evils, isn't it? It's like, would you rather pick a shit sandwich or a shit sandwich with flies in it? It's like, what do you want there? But honestly, I don't think Vivek is a shit sandwich at all. I think he's probably the best candidate in a normal world that hasn't had this the last 6 years or 8 years going on. A normal world before then, Vivek would have made a fantastic choice as primary candidate. But that's not the way the cookie crumbles, and that's not the way the reality has decided to be this time. So we will see. What do you guys think anyway? Do you think Vivek would make a great VP? Do you think he'd be a better president? Do you think Donald Trump will even pick him as a VP? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Alice Cooper is in the news for saying what we're all thinking. How dare he? Shock rock star Alice Cooper dropped from makeup collaboration after comments on transgenderism. They are trying to cancel the uncancelable Alice Cooper. I don't know if anyone's realized, but he is the kind of person who really doesn't give a fuck what you think or what your thoughts are on what he does. Cooper said it was a fad and confusing to children and teenagers. Here from the story from timcast.com. Shock rock performer, I don't know really shock rock, but shock rock performer Alice Cooper has been dropped from his collaboration with makeup brand Vampire Cosmetics after saying the transgenderism with children is a fad or was a fad. Cooper made his comments in an exclusive interview with Stereo Gum earlier this week. In light of recent statements by Alice Cooper, we will no longer be doing makeup collaboration, wrote Vampire Cosmetics. Addressing Cooper's comments, we stand with all members of the that mafia community and believe that everyone should have access to healthcare. It is not healthcare to mutilate children. Shock horror. It is not healthcare to cut the breasts off of children, to give them hormone blockers, because You don't want to do your due diligence and talk to them and be an actual medical practitioner. You just drug them and mutilate them with scalpels. The makeup brand noted all pre-order sales would be refunded. The shock rock partner of the Vampire Cosmetics has released makeup collection named after him. Shortly after their announcement, Vampire Cosmetics account was deleted. Good. I hope that whole company just fails and burns, because they're promoting. They didn't have to say anything. They didn't have to go out of their way and say something about it. But they're obviously LGBTQI 2+, 3-spirited, 4-spirited gender, whatever the fuck it is now. They're obviously that way inclined and care more about mutilating children than they do making money. You can see here in this tweet, Vampire Cosmetics has deleted their account after cancelling a makeup collaboration with Alice Cooper. In a lot of recent statements, blah, 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 we'd like to mutilate children. That's basically all they had to say is, no, we want to mutilate children, so we don't want to make money anymore. Cooper spoke with Stereo Gum in promotion of the latest album, Road, which was released today. During the interview, Cooper was questioned about 1974 interview with Spec, which he said in the future, everyone will be bisexual. Lots of men who perform wear makeup in the theoretical transition. It had nothing to do with sexuality, Cooper said in 1974 interview. Yet again, they're bringing up something from 1974. Do you know how many drugs Alice Cooper was probably on back in 1974? I don't know how many drugs he's on now, but he's probably on a few. Cooper was asked about fellow rock stars Paul Stanley of Kiss, Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, who have recently come out against gender transition, referring to it as a sad and dangerous fad. We talked to Alice Cooper about his new album Road and the gender identity, the woke thing, babysitting a young Keanu Reeves and his unbeatable high school cross-country team, and more. I've actually got to go and have a look at that Stereo Gum interview. That sounds amazing. I'm understanding that there are cases of transgender, he said. I'm afraid there's a lot of people claiming to be this just because they want to be that. I find it wrong when you've got a 6-year-old kid who has no idea, Cooper said. He just wants to play and you're confusing him, telling him, yeah, you're a boy, but you could be a girl if you want to be. The shock rocket said he was confusing to children and teenagers. Well, how is that a controversial opinion nowadays, that you shouldn't be telling 6-year-old children that they can be the opposite sex if they want to be? How is that controversial in the least? You're still trying to find your identity, and yet here it is, this thing going, say, yeah, but you can be anything you want. You can be a cat if you want to be, he continued. Come on, what are we in? A Kurt Vonnegut novel. Cooper went on to say, it's absurd that it's gone now to the point of absurdity, the whole woke thing. Who's making the rules? Is there a building somewhere in New York where people sit down every day and say, okay, we can't say mother now, we have to say birthing person. Get that out of the wire right now. Who is the person that's making these rules? I don't get it. Cooper said he wasn't being old school. His stance is rather logical. Yes, any normal person would agree. It's getting to the point where it's laughable, he continued. If anybody was trying to make a point on this thing, they've turned it into a huge comedy. Cooper said he personally doesn't know a single person who agrees with this woke thing. Everybody I talk to, isn't it stupid? I'm going, well, I respect people and who they are, but I'm not going to tell a 7-year-old boy, go put on a dress because maybe you're a girl. And he's going, I'm not a boy, I'm a boy. He said, I'm a boy. Let somebody at least become sexually aware of who they are before they start thinking about if they're a boy or a girl. If you have these genitals, you're a boy. If you're those genitals, you're a girl, Cooper concluded. There's a difference between I'm a male and who is a female, and I'm a female that is a male, wanted to be female. You're born a male, okay, so that's a fact. You have these things here. 2018, Cooper revealed he and his wife, Christian, in an interview in Newsweek, my father was a pastor, my grandfather was an evangelist. I grew up in a church, went as far away as I could from it, almost died and then came back to church, he said. During a Wednesday night concert, fellow music performer Carlos Santana similarly appeared to criticize transgenderism. I believe Carlos Santana has looked back those comments now. When God made you and me, the guitarist said, before we came out of the womb, you know who you are, what you are.
When God made you and me, before we came out of the womb, you know who you are and what you are. Later on, when you grow up and you see things and you start believing that you could be something that sounds good, but you know it ain't right. Because a woman is a woman and a man is a man. That's it. Whatever you want to do in the closet, that's your business. So I'm okay with that. I am like this with my brother Dave Chappelle. Totally like, or you're lying your ass.
Okay, how is it an issue now that a person who stands up on a stage and says something as benign as a woman is a woman and a man is a man is ridiculed, attacked, and death threat, a massive amount of death threats online from just saying the truth? It's a biological truth. It's a fact. It's well known. It's reality. And if you go against this certain part of reality, you're attacked viciously. You're given death threats. You are cancelled as much as you can be cancelled, being Alice Cooper or Carlos Santana, even Dee Snider. But when these people are, some of these people are like the fighters from back in the day who used to fight for people's freedoms to express their sexuality and express themselves in weird, different, wonderful ways and things like that. And now because they are not as far left and as lost and psychotic as these people, they're attacked. And how is it? I just don't see how it is so controversial to say that 6-year-olds should not be choosing their own gender in sexual ideology when they're 6. He said 6-year-olds, for Christ's sakes. They're 6. I don't even remember being 6. I doubt I was worrying about anything to do with being a girl or a boy besides playing with toys and, how is it that we've gone this far that mutilating children to promote some sort of gay agenda is a good thing? How have we gotten that far in society? It's disturbing. From the post-millennial, the state of man, Kyle Rittenhouse killed in self-defense launches wrongful death lawsuit. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, back in Kenosha, Wisconsin, put down a couple of people who were attacking him. And it turns out if you shoot into a crowd of leftists, you take out pedophiles, sex pests, and child molesters. So it's a win-win there anyway, but Kyle Rittenhouse is still under the pump, still getting attacked by the left and people following him, defending himself in that instance. So we'll take a look at this story here from the post-millennial. On Friday, Kyle Rittenhouse announced he was being sued by the estate of Joseph Rosenbaum for wrongful death in connection to the 2020 incident, where Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum and two others in self-defense during a Black Lives Matter protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. According to the court filings, along with Rittenhouse and Rosenbaum, the state is suing Kenosha police officials, multiple county sheriff's departments in the city of Kenosha, and multiple county governments for compensatory and punitive damages. I'll tell you what, before we get going, if you don't go out and riot and burn down buildings and attack people with skateboards and shoot at people and burn buildings and fucking bins and molest children and be a general piece of shit, you probably won't get shot. Don't attack someone who's holding an AR-15. Basically, you won't get shot. It's pretty simple, but Rosenbaum fucked around and he found out, and now Kyle Rittenhouse is having to go through this yet again. The suit goes on to allege that the law enforcement deputized a group of armed individuals that Rittenhouse was part of and conspired with them, ratified their actions by letting them patrol the streets, armed with deadly weapons, to mete out justice as they saw fit. Like how they were going around shooting at him and burning buildings down, and he was there rendering aid and helping people. Okay. It went on to claim that law enforcement made plans to funnel the protesters towards armed individuals to deal with them. As a result, defendant Rittenhouse fired his assault rifle indiscriminately multiple times. Actually, no, he had a pretty good KD ratio and a pretty good hit ratio. As citizens on the street filing claims about the incident, in this statement posted on X, Rittenhouse said, "I'm being sued again but for defending my life." These lawsuits are making it harder and harder for me to move on with my life, he told Texas Scorecard. It is extremely difficult to go outside without fear of being harassed or assaulted because of the lies spread by these lawsuits. No one should have to continue to defend the fact that they acted in self-defense. It's completely true. If you are in an incident like he was and you were proven innocent and shows that you were acting in self-defense, everyone should just be able to leave it at that. But no, because this is a politically motivated incident and because it had massive repercussions throughout the American government and society and climate going on at the moment, he will never be left alone. His name will forever be earmarked, and people will remember his name forever now. In November 2021, Rittenhouse was found not guilty on all charges, including one count of first-degree reckless homicide and the death of Joseph Rosenbaum. The defense attorney successfully argued that Rittenhouse acted in self-defense when he pursued and chased an angry mob. When he was pursued and chased by an angry mob, his life was threatened by Joseph Rosenbaum, beaten with a skateboard by Anthony Huber, and finally threatened with a handgun by Gage Grosskreutz during the 2020 Kenosha riots. Gage Grosskreutz, who was injured by Rittenhouse during the incident, previously filed the lawsuit and damages of emotional distress, humiliation, loss of enjoyment of life, and other pain and suffering on all claims and punitive damages. Grosskreutz admitted during trials that he had pointed the gun at Rittenhouse before, and then the other 17-year-old shot him. Well, fuck around and find out. Gage Grosskreutz, whatever it is, he's obviously lucky to be alive because the other two people he put down, I believe, were headshots, and he actually tried to help one of them until he was continually attacked by people like Gage Grosskreutz. And it just goes to show that if you shoot into a crowd of leftists, you're going to hit a bunch of pedophiles, sex pests, and, raving loons. So hopefully Kyle can just put this behind him soon and get along with his life. I hope he's got a lot of money behind him now to fight these kind of things, but you never know. And it's amazing that even on Twitter, like you go and have a look at X now, people are still saying that Anthony Huber and Josh Rosenbaum were murdered, but no, they were trying to kill Kyle Rittenhouse, obviously, and that's why he was found innocent or not guilty of murder, and that's why he was let out, and we're still talking about him today. If he was in prison, we probably wouldn't really be talking about him at all, because once you're a political prisoner, you kind of just fade away into nothingness. We can see all those people from January 6th. Trump probably soon is going to be a political prisoner. But people like this John O'Connell there on Twitter keep defending these pieces of shit. Obviously, he's got a bit of Trump derangement syndrome. That's a fantastic picture, by the way. He's already been corrected there. But maybe if you don't go out and commit felonies, attack people, shoot at them, hit them with a skateboard, especially when they're armed, you might not end up 6 foot down. But these people probably deserve to be 6 foot down anyway if their old charges had anything. I think it was this dude was the one who was like raping infants. Not too sure. Yeah, but one of them was definitely raping infants and had been arrested and charged with that. So I don't know whether what you guys think, but I don't think they deserve to be above ground. But luckily, they're not. So I won't shed a tear for them. If you can help Kyle Rittenhouse, go out there and donate to his legal fund maybe, and spread awareness that fuck around and find out works really well in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and especially if you're attacking someone with an AR-15. It's probably not the brightest idea. Yevgeny Prigozhin plane was bombed the other day. If you don't know who he is, he was the leader, the man in front of the Wagner group. He was the leader of the Wagner group, who was the group that attacked or apparently had a coup against Russia the other week, and he is not a very nice person, so no one should be shedding tears over this, but apparently a lot of people are. Did Putin kill him? Obviously Putin killed him. I mean, he didn't just die of natural causes. Your plane just doesn't randomly blow up after you have a coup attempt against Putin. But we'll read this story here from the Daily Mail. New clues suggest Yevgeny Prigozhin plane was bombed. Videos show that buyers viewing the plane on the day it crashed, as jet owners say no repairs were carried out despite the stewardess revealing last-minute maintenance. Fresh clues in the mystery surrounding Wagner warlord, I suppose you'd call him warlord, Yevgeny Prigozhin's plane was crashed and suggested a bomb was planted on board the private jet. Video has emerged that appears to show people posing potential buyers on board who said that Prigozhin's private jet hours before takeoff in a serious security breach. They were registered as passengers of the private jet in order to be let through by airport security in Moscow, and then claimed they were potential buyers according to the Telegram channel, which is considered to have the close ties to the Russian security forces. The potential buyers, including a woman with a handbag, reportedly had access to the plane around 1 hour before 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, just hours before it crashed in the early evening, adding suspicions that the plane might have been tampered with. And adding the speculation further, the owners of the aircraft Brazilian company, Embraer, revealed that they have no repairs carried out on the plane since 2019 because of international sanctions that have blocked the Western manufacturers from providing parts of supports the planes operated in Russia. Wow. But this contradicts the testimony of a stewardess, one of 10 people on board the stricken plane, who have told relatives prior to the aircraft's takeoff from Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport that the flight had been delayed due to a technical inspection, adding to suspicions that the plane may have been tampered with. Prigozhin had been listed as one of the 10 passengers on board of the doomed plane that crashed into a ball of flames, killing all on board by Russian authorities. And the last night, Vladimir Putin broke his nearly 24 hours in silence to express his condolences to those who died, describing Prigozhin as a man who made serious mistakes in life. Honestly, I don't even know who was on board. Like, if you're Prigozhin, he's obviously a smart dude. He's not just some Russian idiot, you know. You do not get to the head of the Wagner group without being an intelligent person. He doesn't look that intelligent, but honestly, I wouldn't want to fuck with him. He's probably, I believe, he's sitting in the Bahamas somewhere, maybe Jamaica, somewhere nice and sunny, sipping on a few margaritas or drinking a couple of vodkas, enjoying a couple of $100 million that he was given. And I don't know whether I believe he was on that plane or not. Obviously, the plane was shot down and blown up or whatever it was, but I don't know whether he was on there. I mean, that's a perfect excuse to get away from either Putin or the rest of the world, whether Putin had something to do with his death or whether Putin had something to do with that fake coup or whatever the hell it was. Who knows? It's all spy work and crap anyway. No, you're never going to get the real story out of it. We're never going to know. We're never going to know the actual story behind any of this unless someone sees Prigozhin and takes a photo of him. I don't know. That might pop up in 10 years' time going, is this really Prigozhin? Who knows, honestly. It comes as a preliminary US intelligence assessment found the crash was caused by an intentional explosion, but the Pentagon says there was no evidence so far which points to a surface-to-air missile defense. Brigadier General Patrick Ryder, Pentagon spokesman, offered up no further details that Evans made his remarks at the Pentagon news conference. Western officials have said Prigozhin was very likely targeted, pointing towards a bomb concealed on board of the international sabotage of the jet. Through Ryder refused to comment on whether the incident was an assassination plot. And Russian outlet Baza publishing schematics of the plane, pointed to the service compartment near the bathroom and the tail section of the aircraft behind the wings, representing an ideal place to conceal a bomb. I mean, anywhere on a plane is an ideal place to conceal a bomb. With fucking honestly, it doesn't matter. Planes are tin cans that fly through the sky. It contended with the theories that Prigozhin's Embraer Legacy 600 jet was shot down by air defense missiles that likely are false, pointing out there were no visible rocket contrails or exhaust plumes in the skies around the crash site. And eyewitnesses from the towns of Kuzenko, close to the location of the crash, saw that the jet exploded in the sky before tumbling to the earth, but did not report any missile strike. It becomes as it emerged a major security breach occurred at the airport in the hours before the crash, involving people posing as potential buyers, according to the Russian Telegram reports. The potential buyers, who had reportedly claimed to be involved in a $4.29 million deal, said to have arrived in the airport of Mercedes when it went through the metal detectors inside. The technician had only had a phone with him. The woman had a handbag. Having examined the inside of the plane for around an hour, they calmly left the aircraft. Soon, Prozorgin, Yutkin, and the others entered the plane. There was an explosion in the air. Telegram channel reported. It comes as stewardess Kristina Raspova, who perished in the crash, later reportedly told her family the plane had been delayed from taking off due to a technical inspection and undisclosed repairs. But Embraer, the company that manufactures the Legacy 600 aircraft that Prozorgin reportedly perished in, said it had not carried out any repairs on the plane due to the international sanctions imposed on Russia. Meanwhile, it emerged that Prozorgin's body was reportedly identified as a partially missing finger after being pulled from the wreckage of the plane which crashed in Tver region of Russia. It was claimed last night that reports suggesting a bomb on board was to blame. I don't know what kind of you can see the plane crashing there. I don't know what kind of remains would have been left after that. Like, honestly, there wouldn't be much but charred remains. Maybe the teeth, they can get DNA, I don't know. It added a senior Wagner commander has identified the body from the injury, as well as identifying his second command, Dmitry Yukhin, from his tattoos. It's still unclear whether Prozorgin and several other lieutenants have been killed, whether it was to avenge a mutiny that challenged President Putin's authority. Meanwhile, new footage emerged today of Prozorgin's plane falling from the sky before exploding in a fireball when it hit the ground. See if we can have a look at that. Yeah. That's insane. Oh yeah, that's his missing finger there. Apparently, they use that to help identify him. I don't know about that. Kremlin dismisses suggesting it killed Prozorgin as absolute lies, but won't say if Putin will attend his funeral, claiming he has a very full schedule. I'm going to say if Prozorgin was on that plane, if Russia obviously had something to do with it, why wouldn't they? And honestly, I don't know why they'd even pretend that they didn't. I mean, who are they hiding from? What are they, like, they're not saving face anymore. Russia and Putin obviously don't care what the rest of the world thinks about them after their attack on Ukraine and their invasion. But what do you guys think? Do you think Prozorgin's still alive, hiding somewhere in the Bahamas or wherever else, you know? Or did Putin kill him? Obviously, it was the Russians who blew up his plane. I don't think it'd be anyone else. Maybe the Americans, but you never know. It could have been. Well, they did blow up Nord Stream 2. They did blow up that oil pipeline. Who knows? That gas pipeline, anyway. Who knows? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in another episode. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.